because even I don't believe, right? When it saw the numbers, it is too high to trust. And then that is why I built this drill down, right? So I wanted to see trade by trade, month by month, day by day, week by week. क्या हो रहा है भाई? कैसे हो रहा है? How is it even possible? And when I looked at this, right, and obviously there were few flaws, but then even the best case was like 150 to 200%, because I got an overall CAGR of around 120%, right? And the worst case I was getting is 90%. And that too, I took an extra high cost. I mean, I was taking a slippage of 0.15 per leg, which is very, very high. I mean, you don't have that high a slippage. But even then I was getting a 90% CAGR, right? I am just blindly, following the calendar, which is, enter at the closing price of the start date, exit at the closing price of the end date. I'm not even doing any kind of technical analysis. Even then I'm getting this result. So even I'm like deeply puzzled as to how is it happening, right? So I will keep questioning the algo. I will keep diving deep, and then I will try to figure out any loopholes, right, over the month before I give it to any of you. Of course, that is why I'm not launching it right away. Even if I launch, it will be towards the end of November, around the 20th is what I plan to launch. Yeah, any questions?
90% CAGR means doubling in a year.
So 100% CAGR means doubling in a year. Yes.
50% is also near.
Sorry, your audio is always a bit
90%
problematic.
is also nearby.
90%, yes. So 90% means 1 lakh will become 1.9 lakhs. That's what it happened, no, in the first year. And this year, though, it was, yeah, almost double, right? So I think it is little less than 90%. So yeah, so it is like expected to double every year. In fact, you will see, in the last 5 years, it has actually not doubled, but 4 times in a year. Because as somebody asked the question, right? What was the impact of since COVID? What has happened since COVID is the volatility has gone up. And the volatility has gone up means, your chances of making more returns also has gone up. Right? So in 2013, 14, 15, we were making returns of, 80, 90%, less than 100%. In the last 5 years, we were making returns of, 150, 200%. In 2024 was one of the best years, 200+% in 2024 alone. In fact, you won't believe, I will show you the numbers. We started 2024 according to this rolling returns portfolio at around 40 to 40 crores. It made 90 crores in 2024 alone, right? Which means that out of that 130 crores, 90 crores happened just in the last year. And that is the power of, what do you call compound interest, right? Because you don't see, the past 5 years would look like, nothing is happening, right? I mean, the capital, because, it's the law of small numbers, large numbers, right? Because in the beginning, it will always seem very, very flat. Your exponential growth will happen, maybe once you cross that 7-year, 8-year, mark, or maybe the 10-year mark. Your last 2-3 years would give you the best returns. That is how it always happens, right? Because, your numbers are adding up. Every trade is earning money, adding back to your pool, and you are deploying that capital again, right? You're not withdrawing. So this algorithm doesn't withdraw capital. So whatever you're earning, so that means what? It is not compounding on an annual basis, but almost on a weekly basis, it is compounding. Right? And it is so well risk managed for you because I have picked only the winning players, right? I've eliminated all the bad players. I've not even given them a chance to play. They don't even get a they're not even in my team. So I have selected 11 or 12 Lionel Messi's, right? Who has a statistically they have delivered, meaning they have a very good batting or scoring average, and they win more than they lose. That is my selection criteria. And then I said, okay, how should I go about picking the pattern such that my overall portfolio is maximized while minimizing my risk, right? So all that was done by the algorithm. I did not do it because it is too complex for me to do it. Because there's so many things, permutations and combinations, and even if I do it, the chances of making errors are high. So it is best left to an algo. And there is a concept called dynamic programming. I mean, all these big, anybody who wants to solve optimization problems, constrained optimization problems is what it's called. Like you name it, Flipkart, Amazon, everybody uses it, right, for their supply chain. So I've used a similar technique because it is too complex for me to solve otherwise. And hence it is best left to, the algorithms that are designed to solve such kind of problems, right? So that algorithm has actually chosen these candidates, right? And it has told me, how much capital to allocate. It has not only chosen, it has told me how much capital I should allocate to that pattern based on its statistical winning rate, as well as, the average return it makes. So all that is, a distinct advantage, right, for me. Yeah, any questions? Otherwise, I'll just quickly, forward. So see, we have achieved a 2 lakh milestone, so it kind of popped up there. So this is 2015 summary. So do you see that, different years, different months seems to be, lagging behind? 2015 September and October was worst. But so far, have you seen any negative month? Zero, right? We have come across 3 years, not a single negative month so far. That means what? Every month you have compounded your capital, and that is a very powerful concept which we don't understand. The power of micro compounding, right? You have chosen the best players, right? You have given them the best opportunity to play, meaning you have given them the capital that they deserve. And then you have just left it to your risk management. Of course, there is a stop loss. Nothing can happen without a stop loss. But that's it. There was no, I didn't even trail the stop loss because I found that trailing is actually lowering my profits. So simple buy and hold strategy with a stop loss. That's it. And the beauty is that your capital is not stuck in one instrument forever, right? Either you win, you lose, but whatever it is, you get out, your capital comes back, and then you redeploy that capital. And all of that is, it's as if like, you have hired the best portfolio manager from the world's best hedge fund who is sitting with you and giving you a plan. It is that powerful. It is that powerful. Okay. These institutions has been using these algorithms for ages. It is just that we don't know how to do this, right? So I took up the challenge, and if I can do this level of work in 15 days, imagine what I can do in 150 days. Yeah, so I am very, very bullish. I don't know about you. And I don't care whether anybody uses it or doesn't use it. I'm going to use this, right? So yeah, any questions? Any doubts or anything cropping up in your mind?
Gautam, very fundamental things, maybe very fundamental to ask. Right now, as whatever, at least I speak for myself, whatever I've been doing, it's been in a little bit of investment in stock, little bit day trading kind of a thing. Now, this particular tool is taking all instruments into play, like equity, commodity. So it's advocating, what you're advocating is a mix of instruments. Number one. Number two, it is more of equity oriented than options slash futures kind of a thing. At least in the equity part of it, in the stock market part of it. No, I don't mean about the commodities like gold, silver, or gas, etc., which I do not know. So there is a natural tendency towards this with the instrument. Is my understanding right? Or I just choose a basket of stocks, 10, 12, as you said, and stick with it and no other instrument?
See, that is up to, obviously, see, futures and options carries a lot of risk, right? That right? So if you have
Yes.
capital, see, if somebody has only 1 lakh capital, Can they deploy that in future? This is for demo purpose, right? So technically you cannot create a portfolio of so many instruments with 1 lakh capital, right? Minimum I would need 15 lakhs capital to create this portfolio.
Right.
Whatever
Of
I'm
course.
demonstrating, right? Because I have taken like crude, natural gas, copper, silver, right? You have to allocate minimum 2.5 lakhs each, right? So naturally, you can't you can't you can't trade with 1 lakh capital. 1 lakh is just for demo purpose. But having said that, depending on how much capital you have, anything can be designed for you. Let's say you come back and tell me, Gautam, मुझे ये 10 चीज में ही trade करना है. I don't care about natural gas and crude oil. I only want to trade in these 10 stocks. So you can build your own portfolio. You don't have to follow this. And that feature doesn't exist today. Like I said, obviously I would need more time to build that. But see, if I can see, it's like think of it like it's a variable in an equation, right? Now the framework has taken 10 things, right? If I give it 20 other things, it will do it with 20 other things. No, kya jata hai usko? Does it care? It doesn't care, no. I have built the framework in a way that tomorrow I can plug in another 100 instruments. It will pick the best from that 100 instruments. You're getting me, right? So this will incrementally get better. And it's like, you have a gold mine. You go and choose whatever you want from that gold mine. No, I will give you access to my entire gold mine. Now you say that, no, I don't want, you can't trade a million things. No. So what this tool is going to help you is to streamline the best portfolio for you based on your risk appetite, based on your chosen stocks. Within that universe, it will tell you what is the best thing you should do. You're getting my point?
Got it.
You don't have to trade this, whatever I'm showing. This is just a model portfolio. But of course, your returns, see, ideally, if you want to make profit from trading, see, what is the best friend for a trader? Volatility. Correct? So obviously, when you choose something like a BTC or a natural gas, your portfolio is going to have a natural edge because those guys are volatile. The amount of money you can make on a natural gas on BTC is going to be exponentially higher than you can make with the Reliance, for example. I've not even done Indian stocks, so I don't know, right? But maybe we will come to the end slide and I will show you, which were the winners, and you will find that natural gas was definitely one of the winners, right? Amongst the, in terms of who contributed the most to this portfolio. That will come to. Shall I continue?
Yeah.
So we have reached a 5 lakh milestone this year, right? And now we come to 2016. We started at 7.7 lakhs. We made another maybe 6-7 lakhs and ended at 13. So look at this. This was I see the first red month, right? Meaning in terms of win rate, at least the win rate was only actually only 4 out of 10 trades I won in this month. It was my worst month. But still, I made a net PNL of 10,000 even after that losses. Which means what? When you lose, you're cutting down your losers. Your stop loss is defining your loss, right? But when you win, you're winning big. So even though you have won only 38% of the time, you have still made money. Now that is the power of this, right? Because 1 month may be red, 2 months may be. See, in fact, this is. See, I see the maximum number of orange and red months, right, in this year compared to maybe the 2013, 14, 15, what I saw. But still, I went from 7.5 to almost, I made 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs in this year. I made, 4.74 trading long and 1.3 lakhs trading short. So it kind of, balances out. Your risk sort of evens out when you do such large number of trades. Roughly, you can see, right, you are doing about 150 odd trades every year. Now, if you divide that 150 divided by 12, right, how many, on an average, you are doing, 12 trades every month. That means out of the 20 trading days, you are at least making sure that you are, trading more than 50% of the month. Obviously, you are not trading every day. I mean, if you go through the simulation, you will understand because that the usual holding period is around maybe 3 to 5 days, right? That's the usual. You will find most trades exit in that time frame. Which means your capital is rotating between these patterns faster. And that is what is giving you the edge. You are not stuck with one thing forever. And either you win or you lose, right? But it doesn't matter, even if few months are bad, overall, your winners are so big compared to your losers. Your winners are so big compared to your losers that you are still making alpha month on month, week on week, year on year, quarter on quarter, and so on, right? So it's a perpetual story. Now imagine
Gautam,
we have come.
can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yep. Now for the shortlisting stocks,
Ah.
now I say I allocate certain amount. Okay. Now I don't know which stock is going to move, right? As per I'm not aware where should I be taking entry. So how does it work? Would I be, shortlisting FNO stocks and uploading the list, or it will scan from Nifty 500 stocks and then, play with the allocated capital?
To
How does
answer
that work?
that question, I will have to again do whatever I did with maybe 10 stocks. I'll have to
Huh.
do all Nifty 500 stocks. I'll say that, okay, I have a list of 500 stocks, but in a portfolio, I want to only choose 10. Then I have to create all permutations and combinations of those 500 stocks, and I have to run that analysis. It will take me a humongous amount of time, but I will not do the analysis. No, I will run, maybe the algorithm will run for 1 or 2 days and it will give me the results. But it is possible to technically find out what are those best 10 stocks from that list of 500 stocks that I should be trading that will give me the best risk adjusted returns. That answer
Correct.
that this framework can give you when I fully build it. It is not fully built,
Okay.
right? It is just doing a model
Okay.
portfolio and it is showing you. Now,
Because
technically, you
as
can.
of now, I may not be aware, right, which stock will give me
No, you don't
good
have to.
move.
That is the reason I built this platform, right?
Ha, ha, ha.
That you don't have to know, what you have to just tell. See, you can always state your preference. You say, no, I always want Reliance in my portfolio. I don't want, I know that this works. I want Reliance. Or somebody, no, I want Bitcoin in my portfolio. So you can say that, oh, I definitely want these 3, but can you go and find another 7 that I don't know what is best for me? That also is
Correct.
possible. You said that, okay,
Okay.
don't change these 3, but find the other base 7, no, which I'm not able to choose on my own.
Correct. Correct.
Now, whether you choose it from stock universe or a combination of stock and commodities, or stock and commodities and cryptos, that is your choice.
Got it.
Correct? So technically, you can analyze millions of portfolios and come to the decision, okay, I want to only trade this. But all of that will require computation, no? So whatever I've done with one time, I have to do it million times. You're getting my point.
Yes.
For every combination of stock, so imagine this is a function, right? So if I call that function with these 10 guys, it will tell me, how that function has performed. Correct? It will give me all these numbers.
Yes.
And I can measure, right? What is the performance? Now imagine I run this with all combinations and, with hundreds and thousands of combination, and I create a score and I just sort them by that score. So I will get my winners. No, it's all maths. At the end of the day, it's all maths and statistics. There is no human judgment or bias here, right? It is not, I am saying this.
Now one more question. Sorry for not sorry actually. Now, for example, the falls like Yes Bank and all, right? Which is Yes Bank was doing really well, and then it starts falling. So, if you go as per seasonality, it will show you that it's a good bank to invest. Would it also uh,
No, see,
consider the
I'm not going to
current
go,
bearishness,
I'm not going
right?
to see again, you have to always take a rolling period of 10, 12 years. So don't go 20 years, 30 years back, right? Because that is different era. I don't want to go and look at how things did in the
No,
80s or
no, no. I'm
90s
just imagining. For
and
example,
said
Yes
now.
Bank is an example. It
See,
was doing a very good round and then it started falling. It was having a good
think of it
run
like
and
this
then
way.
stopped.
Everything that has happened in the life of that stock is
Hmm.
actually reflected in the price. Is that true or not? Whatever that
Yes.
happened, fundamentally, technically,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
policy driven or performance driven or whatever shit has happened with that stock, Everything has ultimately reflected in the price, historical price of that stock, right? It has risen for a reason. It has fallen for a reason. Now see, if the algorithm sees contradictory signals that 5 years it has risen and 5 years it has fallen, it will not even choose that period, no. So automatically it will filter out the bad periods for you. It will not even choose Yes Bank for that period. Are you getting my point?
Okay.
It will only pick Yes Bank if Yes Bank consistently made money in that period. That's it. It will not pick, it will pick something else, no. Why should it pick Yes Bank?
Got it.
Goal of the algorithm is to make money. That's what I told it. Boss, your job, I have hired you, you are the world's best portfolio manager, right? You have all this data. Now go and find the best gems for me that I should be trading. And this is the constraints. Your return has to be minimum this much, your volatility. So I can set all these constraints, right? And then it will go and within those constraints, it will go and find the best things that I can trade. The beauty is that I have taken this humongous universe of possibilities and I've trimmed it down to only 150 candidates. Now that itself is very powerful, right? Because I have gone from I don't know to I know with a very high confidence. Now, you have to forward test this because this is back test, right? And back test, as you know, is just theory. But it's a very good theory. Something I wish I knew 20 years back. I would have, had, few tens of crores in my account by now if I knew this 20 years back. So what I'm trying to also show you that it doesn't take a humongous capital, right? You can start as small as 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, whatever you have. And you can let it compound, right? It is called micro compounding. See, in an FD, you compound every year, that too, 7% across the whole year, right? Now, since it is, doing micro compounding, the magnitude of compounding is humongous. And the more volatile, the market becomes, the more players, comes into the market. Actually, it will favor the traders because the volatility is all you need. You just need to capture a movement of 2 to 3 days. That's all, right? You don't care about, sitting on that stock forever, no? This is not a holding or investment thing. It is actually micro trading, right? Swing trading, simple. But swing trading with a statistical seasonal advantage. And without any judgment, without any bias, purely data-driven, purely, statistically qualified, and, very, very transparent, right? I'm not hiding anything. It's all data. I just tried to figure out what is the best way to present it, and that is what I'm trying to present it in front of all of you. In fact, last 3 days, I was trying to figure out how do I even present it, right? And this is what I came up with, So yeah, any other questions? What do you think? Is it powerful or not powerful? Hello? Are you
Yeah,
guys able to hear me?
Gautam, this is Vijay. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks powerful, Gautam, but one doubt or question for me is,
Hmm.
yeah, we tested this. I mean, we did the back test for with the capital of 1 lakh, right? But in a truly Indian market, if we want to do long or short side for a swing trade, we need to consider the futures. So for that, 1
So
lakh
it is just a number, right? So
it's a
if you have
number, but
10
it
lakh,
cannot be applicable. The short trades, especially, they cannot be applied, right?
no, see, I am measuring in terms of how many points gained or lost in that stock, right? And then, applying that on the capital that you deploy. Now, the capital can be X, Y, and Z. It is just your PNL is going, ultimate PNL is going to be decided by your capital, right? But the percentage return is not independent of your capital, no? How much that stock will deliver, that is not dependent on your capital, yes or no?
Yeah,
How much natural gas will deliver, is that dependent on your capital?
no, no.
You can put 1 crore or you can put 1 lakh, it doesn't matter. You have to put enough capital, of course. You can't put 1 lakh. So obviously, instead of 1 lakh, you will probably need 10 lakhs if you want to trade this portfolio. correct?
Right. Yeah, especially
Because,
yeah.
huh,
For the short side, we definitely need to consider the
now what that means, what it means is obviously, you know, it 1 lakh में इतना हो रहा है, तो 10 lakh में सोचिए ना कितना होगा. I mean, I did not even want to put that astronomical numbers, right? I mean, 1 lakh itself is saying, you know, it has grown more than 100 crores in 12 years. अगर
Right.
10 लाख डालेंगे तो क्या होगा? I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even want to think about it.
Gautam, one more thing now. You said you have to start, take the trade at the end of the day. When the signals will become, what time?
Huh?
You
So
said the trading has to be done at the end of the day, EOD, correct?
See, there is no signal. The signal is your day. Day and the closing price. That is your signal. There is no signal, right? It is time trading, no?
Correct.
You're
So
entering when the strategy is asking you to enter, you're exiting when the strategy is asking you to exit. That's it. And you are putting your stop loss.
so that whatever you're talking about, that will happen only between 3 and 3:30. That's what you want to say.
So if
Correct?
you have to catch, see, what is your best period? If I want to trade something for at the closing price of the day, I have to wait for the closing price, no? So ideally, I should place the trade at between 320 to 325 to catch the opening price, because slippage would be very minimal. See, you can place the trade at 10 a.m., but you know, between 10 to 3, the stock can move around, no? You will not be able to capture the closing price, no? If you do that. If you have to capture the closing price of the day, what is the best time for entry? Between 3:15 to 3:30 only. Because anyways,
no,
all
I'm
intraday players are gone, no, from the market at that time.
not asking you that. I'm asking you now. See, on your system here, it was showing enter. That enter part, when it comes, what time it comes? It comes at the between 3:15 and 3:30. That's what I want to know.
So if it is an Indian stock you are trading, it would be that. Because see, this has, you know, Nvidia and
Got it.
Google, it has natural gas. So obviously, you know, whatever is the closing price of that session, that market, that session. So if it is MCX, you will do it at 11:15. If it is
Yeah.
Nifty, you will do it at 3:15. If it is Google and all, I don't know when you will do it, because, you know, you have to do it for towards the end of the session. That's it.
Fine.
Okay. See, obviously, you know, we will have to create maybe only stock specific portfolios and all that. So a lot of work has to be done, right? I've just, you know, क्या बोलते हैं? I mean, it is as close to an Aladdin's lamp that I have found right now, right? So I'll have to explore a lot of it, right? A lot of it is still unexplored.
You still have to rub the lamp.
Still have to do it. But what I'm trying to say is there is a lot of promise, because you know, there is no bias, that it's not like what Gautam is saying, right? It is what data is saying, right? So if you trust the time factor and if you trust the data, the process, that's it. So, right. So, you know, there is no complexity here. No, there is, you know, it is even freeing you for, okay, somebody says, I don't want to look at charts. You don't have to look at charts also. Simply you have to place an order, you have to put a stop loss. If you can do that much, you can trade this strategy. Maximum क्या होगा? Stop loss होगा ना? But since, you know, see, obviously, you know, you can see, right, the overall win rate is around 70%, which means 3 will anyways be stop loss. Maybe 4 will become stop loss. Sometimes 5 will become stop loss. That's okay. You have to trust the system and to keep going with it. Doesn't matter, you know, whether the stop loss hits or it doesn't hit. If you stop in between, then, you know, then you have not using the system, right? A system is a system. So you have to, you know, you have to use the system over a period of time to get the results, right? एक दिन में तो प्रॉफिट नहीं होगा ना. फर्स्ट ईयर में कितना बना था? 1 lakh से 1.9 lakhs. Only 90,000 you made in the first year. But in the last year you made 90 crores, because starting with a capital of 40 crores, you made 90 crores that year. You more than doubled. So, you know, it's like when you have more money, you can make more money also. But वो दूर की बात है, you know, even if you can go from 1 lakh to 10 lakhs and from 10 lakhs to, you know, let's say 50 lakhs and from 50 lakhs to 1 crore, your life should be settled. Because if you can go from 1 lakhs or whatever, 10 lakhs to 1 crore, then you can go from 1 to 10 also. है ना? Because if you keep in an FD, you know, your money will only double every 6 years, 7 years, right? here algorithm is saying 1 year maximum क्या होगा 2 साल में होगा double, right? So then you have to see what are the practical things that are coming. You have to refine the algorithm, you have to make it better and all that, right? So I don't know the practical challenges of because execution, this algorithm cannot, take care, right? Because, but I have assumed certain costs, slippage, etc. All that is baked into the algo. It is not like I'm just blindly taking whatever profit based on the closing price. I'm actually subtracting all the cost, and even taxes also I'm taking out 15%. So effectively, if you make 100 rupees, I'm taking out 30 rupees from that, and I'm only adding 70 rupees back to your portfolio. So basic accounting I've done, right? Will it, will this exactly happen in practice? I don't know, right? Because obviously, when you trade, you will get different entry price, and, different years will have different things. But, it's like following something consistently. If you look at all the best traders in the world, from Jesse Livermore to Mark Minervini, right? The reason they have, churned millions and millions of dollars from trading is because they built one system, they trusted that system and followed it with discipline like clockwork. The problem with us is that, today we use XYZ, today we use moving average, tomorrow RSI, tomorrow some XYZ, and tomorrow moon cycle, Thursday Jupiter cycle, and, it's all khichdi. We don't even know what we are doing, right? There is no way to predict whether that will work, not work, and all. There is no scientific basis to all that, whatever we are doing, right? So my goal is to create a system that is backed by data, proven by statistics, and something that works over a long period. It's not like I've just taken 6 months of data and done this, right? I've actually simulated for 12 years, year by year, day by day, quarter by quarter, month by month, right? I've validated, obviously, I'm not saying there cannot be bugs and all, but I've tried to eliminate at least whatever I could find on my own. Like I was saying, even the worst case return I got by taking an astronomically high slippage was 90% cumulative, right? So even see, I'm saying, imagine the algorithm is saying 120% a year, right? Imagine if you make half of that, 60%, that is like 5% every month. Even that is huge, right? Your mutual fund at best will give you a 15% cumulative return per year. Your FD, right? Real estate, 5%. FD, gold, gold these days it has done well, but usually gold also gives, around 8, 9, 10%. Real estate, 5%. अब कहाँ पे लगाओगे पैसा? The equities and the stock market is the best way to do it. But then the question is, like all of you asked, right? Where will I put my money? That is the biggest question. And how can I build trust on the setup? That is the second question, right? So I'm trying to build a system that helps you get answers to your questions, right? Not that I want to spoon feed you or I want to force something down your throat. No, you don't have to trade this portfolio. This is a demo purpose. In fact, it is also very difficult also, right, to trade. I mean, something is in the US, but ideally, if I have to think like a world's best portfolio manager, I should construct a portfolio which is not concentrated on any stock market, right? If India is not doing well, some US will do well, right? If stocks is not doing well, crude will do well. Because see, it will capture any kind of economic, political events that is happening in the world, right? If you diversify across a set of non-correlated asset classes, that's the best way to construct a portfolio, because you have naturally diversified your risk. If this will not do well, that will do well. If that will not do well, this will do well. And this algorithm is actually looking at the patterns of the data and trying to figure out what will do well at what time. And that is the answer that it is giving you, along with numbers and all, rankings, everything it has found for you. So your job is to simply open the calendar, look at the entries and exits, and simply follow the calendar. I'll show you the trading calendar in a moment, but so that is what it boils down to. So 2017, you can keep doing this, right? I'll show you the COVID year, what happened. So now we are at 2018. So we're already at what, 42 lakhs, 43 from 1 lakh. We have crossed the 20 lakhs milestones. 2019, almost close to. So basically we started 2020. This is what it is, right? So we started around 80 lakhs in that year and then completed, look at this, at 2 crores. You more than doubled your capital. Look at March. COVID हुआ था ना, Jan to March में. The portfolio made money for you. Whether it is COVID, this, that, doesn't matter, right? Because, and obviously, you have to go to I'll show you, what exactly you trade in Feb and March. But whatever you traded was not impacted by the COVID, or, it was actually, helped by the COVID. Right? So that is the power of time trading, right? Because it factors in everything and gives you the best possible outcomes, right? So now let's continue. So 2021, we started at 2 crores. We ended at, look at these numbers, right? You took a huge amount of money going to 1 crore, but the moment you cross 1 crore, you're from 1 to 100, you're going like in less time than you took from 1 lakh to 1 crore. And that is how, the nature of compounding is, right? It takes a sweet time to get into a spot called an inflection point where, your money simply, goes up like a J curve, right? That is the power of all compounding curves look like that, by the way. Right? So we don't realize the effect of it because humanly it is not possible to do, right, what the algorithm has done. It is impossible, right? Even the world's best fund manager cannot do this manually. They will also have to use algorithms to do it. Right? So all these institutions, right, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley's, Goldman Sachs of the world, they obviously use sophisticated algorithms to, build all these trading models for them. And I worked for them for 10 years, so I know. I used to build these models for them. I worked on building this software for 10 years for one of the world's largest hedge fund in the world. That is where I started my career. And they're very, very big on data, very, very big on statistics. Obviously, at that time, I did not have this deep understanding of this subject. Had I, understood that concept, then I would have been sitting on a few more millions right now. Okay. But anyways, it takes a lifetime to learn something, and I'm glad that at least I have learned it now, so that my next 20 years is going to be infinitely better than my last 20 years, right? That is the hope. Chalo, let's continue. So we already crossed 2 crores. So look at this. 2022 Jan was the worst month. But still we made money. We didn't lose money. Despite being it's like few are losers, but your winners more than made up for the losses. So we went from literally like around 5 crores to 15, like triple the money in 20. It was one of the best years actually. In fact, the last 5 years was better than the first 5 years by a distance. I'll show you the overall stats. You will understand. So 2023 we went from 15 to 40 odd, again, almost 3x, right? With no losing months. I mean, this 2023 was a rock star. Anyways, we know that 2023 was a very trending period, and it also reflects in the data, right? You're consistently high, across the months. So we have achieved 20 crore, and this was where the magic actually happens. In the last year, right? You actually went from like 40 crores literally to 100 plus crores in 2024, right? So that is the magic of how compounding works. Now let me show you, a quick summary, just to show you. So see, basically this is your average rate of compounding, right? Now imagine this is 10 times better than what Nifty has done. So Nifty compounds, let's say, actually it is more than 10 times, but let's say even if I assume 12% Nifty annual return average, this has done 10 times better than Nifty. It is 120% every year. It is compounding at that rate. Now you can apply this compound interest and you can calculate how much a given sum will become in 10 years, 20 years, 15 years if it compounds at this rate. So this is the overall compounding, accounting for all the losses, stop losses, everything, right? So obviously the numbers looks astronomical and it is difficult to, honestly, even I did not, I was finding it very difficult, but I've been trying to find all kinds of loopholes. And no matter what I do, the worst case I got was around 90%, but then I made some mistakes, in terms of inflating some of the cost. So I reverted it back, right? So honestly, so far I have not found a loophole. Obviously, the only challenge could be the execution part, because that part is not automated. You still go have to execute the trades, right? Because only if you trade, you make money at the end of the day. The only question is, can you do it with the discipline that it requires you to do? And the discipline is not much, right? It is basically monitoring your calendar, right? So you have to, I'll show you the trading calendar in a bit. Let me just complete. So as you can see, this 3 years was the best. In fact, the last 3 years was the best years, right? On an average, it gave you, 3-4x returns in a year. 200% means 3x returns, right? In a year. And these were the worst years. In fact, you can see that post-COVID, what has happened is the return has actually gone up, not gone down. Somebody asked that question, no, in the beginning. So what COVID has done is actually increase the volatility of everything, because the uncertainty has gone up, which means uncertainty reflects in the volatility, right? Trump aaj kuch bolega, price will behave certain way, and then tomorrow he will revert that, price will behave certain way, and all that causes volatility, right? All these geopolitical tensions, everything is responsible for volatility, right? So which is also reflecting in the data. That means you are making more returns for the same number of trades. It is not like you are over trading. You are taking the same number of trades, but per trade you are earning more in the last 5 years than you earned, in the first 5 years, starting 2013, right? So that's the thing. So this is, your quarter on quarter growth. Of course, this is a log scale, not a linear scale, but this shows you how capital compounds quarter on quarter, right? Starting with, 1 lakh, and then it goes up like this. And these are your best instruments. Like, of course, amongst the portfolio, natural gas delivered the most returns, right? 46 crores of that 134 came from natural gas alone, 35% contribution to the overall growth. Then NVIDIA, obviously, reasons are obvious, right? Natural gas is the most volatile instrument. If you can capture a trend, and by the way, I have not even taken the lot size here. Somebody asked that question, what will happen? Actually, when you use leverage, because this algorithm doesn't even consider that I'm trading in 1250 quantities of natural gas. I have only assumed one quantity only, right? So obviously, the numbers will be much better in real. It's just that your capital requirement will go up. But whatever you will get with leverage is obviously going to be better than, no leverage, because this algorithm doesn't assume the leverage that you get in a futures and option. Because when you buy natural gas, you can't buy one quantity, no? One lot means 1250 quantities you have to buy. Correct. So obviously, results will be far better in practice, right? So, so NVIDIA was the next, then Tesla, right? Obviously Google, crude oil, silver, Meta, and so on, right? So as you can see, the Indian indexes was far below, right? Compared to, some of these names, right? So obviously, this is just one portfolio I've analyzed, right? So I guess, the next goal is to create different combinations, stocks only, Indian stocks, Indian commodities, and the potential is limitless. So I'll have to figure out, how to do those things in an efficient way, and, add all those things in the front end. It'll take me, maybe another couple of months, maybe by year end, it'll be ready. But of course, when it gets ready, I can charge more premium, right, for the product. So as of now, I've made it available at a very good, pre-launch rates, right? So anyways, so this is, year by year performance, right? So first year 1 to 1.9, 2014. Look at the growth is so slow, right? In the beginning, if you look at the first 5 years data, right? You are hitting your 1 crore mark literally in 2020, which is 7 years. And in the same year, you are hitting also, you're doubling that capital, right? So you're going from literally less around 1 to 2 crores in the same year, right? And from 2 crores in 21, right? In literally 4 years, you have gone from 2 crores to more than 100 crores. Now that's the power of compounding, right? That people don't appreciate or understand because it is very hard to understand, right? That is why Einstein said it's the eighth wonder of the world. We do not understand the magic of compounding, and the magic of this thing is it's micro compounding, right? It's not like you are buying something on Jan 31st, you're exiting on December 31st. No, right? You're buying 150 different things throughout the year based on its seasonal character, and you are churning your money much faster. It's called turnover, right? So your money is getting more chance to grow, right? And then when you choose assets that are naturally diversified, non-correlated assets, right? So your risk is also diversified. If one play, like I said, it's like having a team comprising of 11 Lionel Messis, literally. Even if one guy will not perform, the other guy will perform. Even if 4 guys perform, in the team, even if 6 guys don't perform, you will make money. You will not lose money. And this heat map is telling you that out of all these 144 months, 12 years by 12 months, right? So you have a 144, number of months that you traded. Look at this. Only one negative month in the whole, trading calendar, right? Most of them are bright green, meaning, the returns are, on the higher side, right? And these were some average months, returns were on the lower side. You can see 1.6, less than 2%, and this is, close to 0. But look at how few they are, right? And there are like stellar months like, like 2015 Jan making 13%. Now thing is, all these small numbers, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they add up to become astronomical over time. So that is the power of doing something repeatedly, consistently, right? It's like, uh, you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth. It's as simple as that, right? So you wake up in the morning, look at your calendar, okay, I have to exit this, I have to enter this, that's it. You don't have to apply your brains, nothing. If you want to do a little bit of technical analysis, you can and you should, right? I'm not saying you should not. But I'm saying that's all it is. It is as simple as that. You come at 3 p.m., spend 15 minutes, and your day is done. So if you can spend 15 minutes a day, you can trade. And maybe eventually, if I have very high confidence, because right now I don't know whether it'll work or not work and all that, right? So that doubt is always there. Even I'm doubting, right? So but then let's say, 6 months down the line, I'm absolutely sure this works. Then I can even automate these trades, right? I will create an account, I'll put some money, and I will just, run the algo at 3 p.m. every day. I will look at my calendar. Acha, I have to exit this, enter. I know how much to allocate. It will just go and buy that many stocks or that many lots based on my capital allocation. Maybe, when I consider future, I have to improve the allocation algorithms, but all that complexity I can build, right? I'm not just, it is very simple to do that. These are all mathematics, right? At the end of the day. So we can do all of that, not a problem. Okay. So and like this was sort of the way your milestones were achieved. You went from 1 lakhs to 2 lakhs in like around a year, a little more than a year, in fact, right? Whereas it would have taken your best mutual fund 5 years to reach this milestone at just around 15%, CAGR. Right, you covered the distance. So basically you are getting to a milestone 5x faster than you would with any of the best instrument available in the market right now, right? So that's the power. You went to 3 lakhs in about 1.5 years, then 5 lakhs in about 2.5 years, then 10 lakhs in about 3.5 years, 20 or 4.5, 30, 5.5, 50, 6, little over 6, 1 crore. Now this is the important, right? So you went from literally, like 1 lakh to 1 crore, which is 100 times your starting capital in 7 years. So it took 7 years to reach this magical number, right? And after that, because of the volatility increase, it obviously helped, right? Because our return percentage also went up in these years. Like you can see from this table, 2013, 14, 15, they were all hovering below 100%, more or less, average. If you take until about 2019, none crossed 100% except maybe 2015. This was one, I think this was a very good bull year, right? So, but then look at even like, see, 2022 was a corrective year, but even our portfolio performed. So it doesn't matter whether it is a bullish market, COVID happened in 2020. Our portfolio gave 155% returns with a very good sharp. See, number of trades consistent, 152, 52, 50, 50, 53, 54, 57. So because, you know, some trades will fall on weekends and all. So I don't trade. If a trade falls on a weekend, let's say, you know, entry was on a Saturday and exit on a Sunday, I skip those trades. I don't trade, meaning the algorithm doesn't trade. Minimum one day active trading day you need to have, right? Only then the trade will be executed. Otherwise it will be skipped for that year, because every day, you know, 3rd Jan will not fall on a Monday or a Tuesday, no, it will sometimes, you know, it will fall over a weekend, or there will be an extend, and you know, I've not really taken the extended holidays. No, I have taken actually the extended holidays, right? So I've skipped all the holidays. I've only taken the valid trading days to execute a trade. Now, if a particular pattern falls, completely overlaps with a weekend, or you know, like it's a 1-day pattern or a 2-day pattern, and then it falls entirely over the weekend, then that pattern will be skipped. And that is why you are probably getting a little bit of variable numbers, right? I think the lowest was 147 to 157. So plus minus. So average around 150 trades you are doing, and you are generating around almost doubling your capital every year. Sometimes you are even tripling, right? As you can see, post-COVID, just look at these numbers. Right? Every year was more than 100%. 2021 was actually, you know, the lowest, right? But look at 2022, when, you know, the market corrected, but we made money here, right? Even in 2024, since October, there was a big correction. But look at this, 2024, October, November, December, our portfolio made money, right? COVID, 2020, Jan, Feb, March, algorithm made money, not a single losing year. In fact, surprisingly, you know, 2017 November, I don't know what happened there. But see, every month it will not make money. But you can understand, right? When every month consistently you are adding capital, right? Little bit, they all add up to make these astronomical returns. And I'm not applying my brain. So say, even if I have 1 crore, I have to apply in the same proportion. That 1 lakh or 1 crore doesn't matter. It's just a number to the algo. Now, obviously, you can say that when the number becomes too high, and that problem will only come, you know, if you're trading with more than 10 crores capital. So that is not a problem that you should have, right? You know, there is a liquidity issue that you will face, right? Because you can't place, in fact, that is why, you know, institutions have to manipulate the market to place those large orders. No, I shared one YouTube video with you guys, right? Today morning, I think, right? So institutions have to manipulate the market to create the orders and, you know, get the best entry price. Now that is a whole different ballgame. You will really have to become an institution for that. And for that, you have to be trading with 1,000 crore plus capital. Now, till the time you have 1,000 crores, you are not worried about that. In fact, you have an advantage over the institution, because what institutions can't do, you can do, because nobody is going to observe your, you know, small orders, right? So so you will go completely under the radar, right? So from 1 crore to 10 crore, you know, you don't have to even worry, right? Obviously you can withdraw for whatever your needs, but let's say whatever money you don't need for the next 10 years, you can leave it compounding, leave it to compound. All right, so what else do we have? Milestones. That's it. So that's all. So I'll show you the trading calendar, right? So literally, you know, the portfolio builder part is not there yet, right? That will come in a subsequent. But so obviously, you know, this entire app right now, assume there is only one model portfolio. There is only those 12 instruments and all of that. Now, based on that assumption, it has created the calendar. Now, imagine tomorrow, I will help you build your own portfolio, right? So whatever you're going to see here is not the model portfolio, right? You can choose, you know, which portfolio you want to trade, and based on your portfolio, it will create the trading calendar, right? So all that features has to be built. It is not built yet. Okay. I think there is an issue with loading the calendar. Let me see if it loads. Otherwise, I'll have to restart the backend. Just give me a moment. Right. So let me restart the server. I think there is an issue. Give me a moment. Any questions you have? Hello?
Join after 9:30, so not from mine.
हाँ अभी लोड हुआ है. So see, so this is the same table that I showed you there. So it is also kind of available for you here. Now this is the best part, right? So I have given you, a trading calendar. So all you have to do is, you come to this day, you click on this, right? And then it will tell you, what are your trade entries that okay, you have to go meta long, you have to, allocate this much capital and all that, right? Now, obviously, this is based on the starting capital, right? Now, since this was doing on the simulation, right? So obviously, 2024, we had a very high capital, right? Now, if you go to 2013, obviously, you will see a very different number, right? Because, the starting capital of 2013 was different. So it will load the calendar or basically the trades that was executed for 2013. But maybe I can make that a variable and you can set your capital, and then based on that capital, it will tell you how much of that capital should be allocated in that trade. That can be done easily. It's just a simple adjustment. Now, whatever. So it will tell you, what to enter. It will also give you the statistics, right, that you need. You can see the win rate. You can see the standard deviation, right? So 8.6 is a very high standard deviation, by the way, right? And that is why you can see it has gotten very small capital. Can you see only 10% is allocated, right? Whereas this one, this gold trade, got a lot of capital, 45%. Why? Because the standard deviation is low, the sharp is higher, win rate is also higher. So this is that Lionel Messi concept, right? So this guy is a better player statistically than this guy. So I am giving more of my capital to this guy because historically it has proven to be, having a good average. So you want Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma to play most of the balls, no, of all the 50 over game. And that is why, your best batsman is loaded at the top, no? Otherwise, you can start with the bowlers, no? Why do you not start with the bowlers? I mean, it's a similar analogy, right? So I don't want to give my capital to a guy which has, which is weak, right? I have only given 10%. So that is also part of the risk management, by the way. And that also the algorithm has solved for you. So you don't have to apply your brain. If I have 100 rupees to allocate, how much should I allocate? The allocation percentage is also even given to you, right? That is a huge. So it's like, literally hiring an institutional grade portfolio manager and it's like your advisor, right, on steroids. In fact, I want to build like a natural language interface, right, where you can query whatever you want to ask, you want to, it will answer. That is the next step, right? So whatever questions you have, I will train that genie. I will call it something like an alpha genie or whatever. And that genie, you can just, like how you go to ChatGPT and ask a question, you can ask a question and it will answer. So that way, it is like, your customer support on steroids, right? At least 99% of the questions will be automatically answered by the genie. So, I will not get most of the questions, right? So my agent will do it for you. I mean, do it for the client. Obviously, first 10 people will get my personal handholding, but imagine tomorrow I have 1,000 clients. I can't personally handle 1,000 clients, no? Only for the first 10, I have special pricing. And by the way, this pricing is locked for you for the rest of your life, right? So whatever annual price I'm giving you 3 months extra, of course, because the product is not ready. You're getting early access, and I've already extended a 3 months period. Plus, your renewal rate will also be locked at that, no inflation. Even if I hike the price 10 times, in the future, you can continue to renew at the same existing rate, right? And that is the only thing I can do for because you are obviously the most special people, right? As of now, rather than all the strangers whom I don't even know as of today. Okay. All right. So any questions? I'm happy to answer. Obviously, this is just a glimpse, and this is literally 7 days of my work, right? Building all these, not just the back end, I had to also build the front end, right? To show all these things in a beautiful way, so that it appears presentable. And obviously, I would not have been able to do this if I did not have a lot of AI behind me, right? Backing me up, because doing this humanly is humongous and impossible. I don't even have an employee, single employee I don't have, right? So I do all the work myself. So you can imagine that, I've been coding like literally 10, 12 hours every day. I've been sleeping less, 5 hours, and I have been coding. Which means, when I have in a flow, then I can't leave it until it is done, right? So because I had to do it, I did it. And then, the next step is to see, but before I announce it to the world, I wanted to make sure that you guys have the first chance to register. So I'll keep that window open for the next 24, 48 hours. Those who are interested, you can reach out to me. I think I already told you the price. But if you have any questions or queries, you can always message me, and then we can close it in the next couple of days. But otherwise, other than the pricing, if you have any other questions, right, on this, you can ask, or any doubts that is cropping up, anything not clear, because your questions will probably give me more insights as to how I can make the tool better, right? So that can answer your questions, right? So your questions will actually drive. In fact, the first 10 people will actually become, the biggest contributors, right? In order to grow this app. Because your feedback will be, because I'll be interacting with you, I'll be giving you that personal hand holding. So in the process, whatever challenges you face, whatever problems you face, all of that collective solutions will go back into making the app better. And so basically the next year is the year of trial, right? And if the trial is successful, then this can be a huge hit. Only thing is that, I don't have the SEBI license and all that, right, to do all of that. So I'll have to figure out the other thing. But yeah, I mean, other than the legal and compliance challenges, I don't see any other challenges right now. Yeah, any
sir,
question?
2 minute Hindi recap, whatever we did.
Sorry?
आज के क्लास का 2 मिनट का हिंदी रिकैप दे देना
2 minute का क्या?
हिंदी रिकैप
I'm not able to understand.
आज जो भी डिस्कस किया वो थोड़ा हिंदी में एकदम शॉर्ट में बताना
हिंदी में?
He wants to.
रिकेप
He
कर
wants
देने
to.
के लिए बोल रहे हैं सर, रिकेप कर दो, फिर से बोल रहे हैं।
हिंदी
2
में?
मिनट के लिए हिंदी में हाँ मैं 9:30 बजे ज्वाइन किया ना तो
अच्छा अच्छा. हाँ, so So see, it is like, क्या बोलूं मैं? You have, क्या बोलते हैं? Let's say, in NSE, you have so many stocks, right? And it is impossible for any one single person, right, to go and analyze each and every stock, and that too manually without any kind of, sophisticated algos, right? And not just, you're not like building a long-term portfolio, right, where you buy and hold and, all that, right? Your risk is higher and all that. Here, you have sort of done a very micro analysis, right? So what I've done is I have taken every period starting one day, starting Jan 1st and ending December 31st, right? I've taken all combinations of period from 1 day to 90 days. Let's say Jan 1 to Jan 1 is a 1 day period, right? Jan 1 to Jan 2 is a 2 day period. Jan 1 to Jan 3 is a 3 day period, like that. Jan 1 to Jan 30 is a 30-day period. Jan 1 to, March 31st is a 90-day period, like that. I've taken all combinations of 90-day periods for all of those stocks. Now imagine 1,000 stocks multiplied by 1,000 periods. That is, more than 1 million combinations, correct? Now, humanly, it is not possible to analyze so many things. And that too, if you have to repeat this analysis every month, imagine the complexity, right? So obviously you need a software, right, to do this kind of analysis. And what is analysis? You have to take 10 rolling, years of data, 10 or 12. I've taken 12. So it's a 10 to 12 years of rolling data. You have to pick every period. You have to compute the return. You have to look at the consistency of the return, right? So because you have taken 10 periods, right, in every period whether it has won or lost, right? So let's say if some patterns have shown a bullish character, right, 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, then I will trust that pattern more, right? Because it is behaving in a consistent way. It is not just telling me that it is bullish, it is also telling me that it is consistently bullish. Now that is even more powerful concept. So what it is doing is, from the millions of possibilities, this algorithm is narrowing down your list of possibilities to just 150 candidates out of the millions. It has picked those 150 candidates. It has now created a calendar for you. So you know that all you have to do is open the calendar and see, acha, is there an entry today? Is there an exit today? Right? So if there is both entry and exit, first you exit, right? So you come, it's like, you need 15 minutes, right, to do this process. You at 3:15 you put an alarm. Anyways, intraday volatility, all that closes at 3:15. So between 3:15 to 3:25, you place your trades, you exit whatever has to be exited, you enter whatever has to be entered. That's it. Just put a stop loss if you want, or next day morning you put a stop loss based on the open, right? That is up to you. But ideally, you should have a stop loss always in the system, because tomorrow agar gap down ho gaya to kya hoga, right? So you should always have a stop loss so that anything bad happens, you are protected. Even the stop loss is calculated for the pattern based on the historical volatility, right? And given to you. So even that number is given to you. You can either use that or you can use your own stop loss, whatever, right? So that's it. So every day, or you have to wake up, look at the calendar, look at entries, look at exits, execute the trades. No technical analysis required, right? I mean, in a naive way, not required, but if you really want to do it, you can do it. For example, if it is very close to a resistance zone, maybe I will not take the trade, right? So I will do little bit of filtering myself, because I'm a human being, right? I have to apply my intelligence. The algo did not apply in intelligence and made so much money. Problem is with a human being like me is I think that I am better than the algo, and hence I have to do that analysis, because if I don't do this analysis, I will think that I've done something wrong. That is the problem as a human being. Okay. But if I can trust a bot, a process, then the bot is doing a very simple thing. End of the day, it is going and exiting whatever has to be exited. It is entering, and it is not asking a question that should I enter based on. It is not doing any technical analysis. Zero technical analysis was done to develop this. I mean to trade basically. Yes, risk management was done. Cost accounting was done. Meaning, if you made 100 rupees, I have subtracted that 30 rupees as cost and taxes, and I have only added 70 rupees back to your portfolio. I have also assumed that 70 rupees is not available for trading on that day. It is only available the next day. So that is why, it is a T+1 settlement calendar. If you use T+0, these numbers will even go up. Let me show that to you. Instead of 120, because you will get 108 more trades. And instead of 120, it will go up to 150%, meaning you will make more returns. But I have still gone with the T+1 settlement. Sometimes, in the US, I don't know how it works. I've never really traded, but, whatever it is, you will not have the cash available immediately, from the trades you exited. So I have actually taken a safe thing and I have said, okay, I have only assumed that, see, look at this. If I go for T+0, the CAGR went up from 120% on an average, it went to 150%. Number of trades also went up. Right? Overall, if you look at the total number of trades, it is now 1927, right? Which means it has found more opportunities to trade. And it has made more money as a result. Anyway, so this is, all theoretical numbers, but I think T+1 is a safer bet. Even I would say 120% is also a theoretical number, right? But imagine, if you can even make 50% or 60% return in a year, right? Roughly at 5% a month. Even that is world beating, right? You will become the world's best fund manager, even at that rate, if you can do it consistently. The problem happens because as a human being, it becomes very difficult for us to stay disciplined and follow something with, with conviction and belief. Right? Now, I don't know how to solve that problem until and unless I can create a model portfolio, maybe on an account, and then I can trade that day and day. But that will take me, 5 years to prove that this concept works. Tab tak to, so opportunity will be lost, right? So it is completely up to, you, whether you want to trust this, you don't want to trust this, you use this, not use this, it is completely up to you. My endeavor was to, show the scientific way of doing this. And if any of you want to do this see, I've already given you the seasonality indicator, right? So technically, and if you tell me your 10 stocks, I mean, at least those who buy, I'm going to give those 10 reports based on your 10 favorite stocks. You can also go and find manual patterns and trade, right? But the problem with manual is you will not find so many opportunities. Like this algorithm literally has gone through, hundreds and thousands and millions of options and then only picked the best 100 for you or best 150 for you. Now that is not possible. It's a humongous task if you have to do it manually. Manually, you can maybe find 10 patterns, hardly maybe 20. And that too, if you're doing 1 or 2 stocks, right? So now imagine, see, the beauty of this is it can do rolling analysis, right? Meaning every month it can refresh, every quarter it can refresh, every year it was refreshing. So it is not working on stale data. Now imagine you take, 20 hours to find those 10 opportunities. So you'll have to keep spending that 20 hours every year, every quarter to be able to do this, right? So a lot of time wasted for no gains, literally, right? Whereas, this thing is automatically, sort of, if, for example, it will do this analysis every month with fresh data because 1 month got added, no? So we will roll forward by a month, or maybe we'll do it quarterly just to keep it simple. So every 3 months, your portfolio or calendar may change and it will only pick based on the best winners as of that date. So it will naturally remain fresh forever. I think somebody asked that question, no, what will happen, this thing happened, that thing. So all that will naturally happen, automatically as a process. So the process will look at a fixed starting date and a fixed ending date. That's it. It will take a 12-year window. Ideally, we can do it every year because doing it more than, but we can, take Q1 as a start, for example, if we have ended Q2, then we can take the Q2 as a start and Q2 to Q2 like that. We can roll forward, right? And then when you are at the Q3, ended Q3, like, now we have September data, right? So we can do the analysis of, all the way till September, no, of this year. And when I go to January, then I have entire year, then I will roll forward by year. So every quarter, actually, I can do this calculation so that, you will always get the fresh data. Which means that, your composition might change from quarter to quarter. It is not like that it will remain constant ever. If it finds that, there are better patterns based on the new window that you're analyzing, it will go to that pattern. You're getting it, right? So it will always try to do the best thing for you, given the data. The holy grail is the data here. And data is simple, end of day closing price for last 10 years. That's it. Okay. So that is the thing. So basically imagine this tool, with this tool, you are, sort of hiring the world's best hedge fund manager or a portfolio manager. You are asking it questions like, okay, I want to trade these 10 stocks, or, I don't know what to trade, right? You can be as blunt as that. Can you give me, what are the best nifty stocks that I should trade, right? I have this much capital. You can ask a question like that and it will build it for you. I want to make it that simple. Okay. Now, obviously, it is going to take a lot of humongous amount of work because I have only downloaded the data for so many. I have not automated the download process yet, right? Because there were some challenges. So I'm manually downloading the historical data, but that is a one-time process, but I'll have to figure out a way to automate even that, so that I don't have any operational issues, right? Maybe after 3 months, 6 months down the line, it works like clockwork. Obviously, I have to put some quality checks and all that, and that will be done as part of when I deploy to production. All that will be taken care of. All right, so that is what it is. It will prepare, like you can see, the days where there are no trades, you can easily make out, right, from the calendar. The green are the ones where you have to trade, right? The lighter ones are the ones where you have more trades, right? So for example, here you have 2 entries, one natural gas short, one Tesla long, and you had 2 exits, right? One in crude oil and this thing. It is actually also showing you, what is expected versus actual for that year, right? And whether it underperformed or, overperformed. So in this case, this trade outperformed, right? As you can see, it was expected to make this much. It made, because it was, I think, a short, right? Or long. Okay, anyways, I'll have to check some of these numbers, but because I made some corrections in the other UI, maybe this one is not reflecting some of the corrections. But whatever it is, it will tell you, and it will also show you what are the positions active, meaning you have to hold on to these positions, right? There is no entry and exit. So these are your ongoing trades. These are your exits. These are your entries. So technically every day you will know what is the trading plan, right? So you don't have to come and think, you don't have to do any analysis, nothing, right? So obviously you can do some little bit of technical analysis and make sure you are confident of trading that based on the price action. Otherwise you can simply trust it and put a stop loss. Maximum kya hoga? Stop loss hit hoga. So that is how it is, friends. Obviously this is just an early start, and ton of work has to be done to really make it like the genie that I want it to be. But honestly, it's a lot of work. But so far it's good, and I'm satisfied. I'm also trying to create an FAQ. So all the questions that you're going to ask, I'm going to keep adding, so that just by going through it. And I'm also going to use, some bot-like interface, right, where you can ask questions and it'll answer. So all that will come in the next versions, basically. And this is your pattern explorer, right? So where it'll, it's just like a gallery. If you just want to manually explore each and every pattern, right? So basically, see, originally I had a list of 693 patterns. From that, I have chosen the best winners, right? Because as you saw, we were only trading, 150 out of this 600 odd. So although these are good, I'm not trading each one of them. Okay, because maybe some of these things overlap. I may not have even enough capital to trade. So the optimizer will take care of how to allocate capital in a way that your capital is not over allocated. Money, if I have 100 rupees, I cannot trade for 200 rupees. Na? If I have to trade all these patterns, I will need infinite capital to trade all of that. That is not possible. And that is why you need an optimizer, right? To tell you, acha, given this constrained capital, right? And given that my goal is to maximize profit, right? And take the lowest amount of risk, basically adjust for Sharpe. higher Sharp, right? Sharp is an indication of, higher returns per unit of risk, right? So it actually looks at all of that options and then comes up with the best trading calendar for you. Okay. So that is why, that is where the edge really comes from, because it has learned from history, right? It has looked at 12 different years, and out of that also it has made sure that, it has picking patterns which has a lot of consistency. And obviously it is naturally giving more capital to the patterns which have higher scores and lower capital to the capital, which means your risk is also lowered. If somebody is not a good player, I'm not going to trust with a lot of money. I'm going to give it a little bit of money. But if somebody is a consistent player, I'm going to give it a lot of money. And, so that is how, your alpha is increased. These may be, micro steps which you think may think not important, but these are super critical as a portfolio manager. And honestly, this is the only scientific way, at least that I am aware of, right? If I have to launch a fund tomorrow, I have to use all these algorithms only. I can't do manual decisions. Yeah, and this is how institutions trade, right? In terms of, making trading decisions, at least. Of course, they have much more sophisticated systems than I have, right? But I have also so much limited capital, right? And with my limited capital, limited knowledge, I can only do this much, right? Obviously, if I had crores of funding, then I could do whatever I want to, but I don't have that, and neither do I have the SEBI certification required to launch my own PMS or schemes like that. That will take me another 5 years to get there, right? So these are early days for me, but I love it, and so that is how it is. Chalo, I will haven't even had dinner today, so I'll probably take a break, and I will not continue the class today, but next week we will continue with the regular class. So hopefully this the demo was sort of useful for you guys. If you have any questions, I can take that up now, or you can always reach out to me, on WhatsApp or call me. Any questions? Hello? सब सो गए क्या? See, some of these patterns, look at this, 100% win rate. Can you see? If I sort by win rate, look at how many, or not a lot, out of that 700, it has only found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 patterns it has found with 100% win rate. That means every year it has, made money. Right? See, 100% win rate every year, 2013, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, obviously some small money, but still it has not given negative return. Now, when you have players like this, of course you are going to trust it, no? But it might happen despite the statistics that next year it will not make money. That is okay, but see, that is the thing, right? If one guy doesn't make money, you have 149 others will make money for you. Now, this is just based on 12 or 10 instruments I've analyzed. Imagine if I can analyze 1,000 instruments, instead of that 600, I will have a 6,000 choices, right, to make from. So obviously, I will find a lot more 100%ers, right, or 90%ers. Right now, you are seeing only how many? Only 8 out of 700, literally, 10%, in that bucket. But imagine if I can analyze, let's say, 1,000 stocks. Obviously, it will take time, but if I can analyze 1,000 stocks, I may be able to find, everything in my portfolio is all 100%ers only. I will not have even a 90%ers. That means I will be only trading in stocks that has the best probability in the world. Now that, I don't know whether you understand, is the holy grail. If there is anything there is to holy grail, at least in all my 5 years of research. See, I've tried Astro, I've tried 100 other things, GAN, and all that. But at the end of the day, whatever has happened, right? It has to reflect in the price, no? And ultimately, you have to come and trade, price. But I don't know when is the best time to trade. Now, all this analysis is helping me do is identifying what is the best period for this stock period. That's all it is doing. And now once it had identified all the best candidates, players, it is saying, okay, how should I pass the ball between the players so that I can score the maximum number of goals? That is the second part of the problem. And it is doing both. And both are very challenging problems to solve as a human being, manually. The amount of computation you will need to do that, it is impossible to do it. See, you have your seasonality indicator, right? Now, I told you, how to do a portfolio, how to build your portfolio for the month. So your granularity will be much larger, right? I mean, you can pick, because see, if you have to repeat it for every 7 days, every 3 days, every 5 days, you will get tired and fatigued of it, of using that tool manually. It is impossible. So what I've done is I have actually, automated the usage of that tool 1,000 times over. Right? That is a layer one of filtering, right? From there, I have gone and chose, okay, now I have so many good players. How do I actually play the game? And that is where, the portfolio optimizer comes in. And when you take all of this, it is a humongous, powerful concept. I don't know how many of you are able to grasp it, but, I'm sure some of you do. And, would be excited to probably get an early access. So those who are interested, please, I'll keep this window open because I'm going to probably open it up for the world in a couple of days. I mean, I haven't really launched it formally. I wanted to make sure that before I give it to anybody else, I give at least, I wanted that first 10 to be coming from this group, right? Not some total stranger. So I think 4 or 5 are already gone. So maybe 5 is only remaining. So, and if you're interested, please get in touch with me. I'll try to close this 5 within the next couple of days, right? And any questions you have, feel free to ask. I'll make sure that your questions are answered. And, as I said, I'll build a genie that will be able to answer questions for you, right? So maybe in a couple of months, that feature will also be added. Yeah, so anything else you would like to know? Hello?
So now you've done this with most of the stock which are US or whatever. And when do you
My goal was to check that if I picked a non-correlated, well-diversified portfolio, right, where there is no concentration risk on any single market or asset class, how did it perform, right? That is the question I started with. Because I was having a conversation with somebody, see, the goal is there are a lot of people, who are ready to put in 2 crores, right? But the problem is I do not have the license to manage funds, right? Otherwise, there I can line.
That's all good, I'm saying. What you're saying is okay. What I'm asking is, see, many of us will not be trading the foreign, so when are you going to do putting the Indian stocks in?
Once you come on board, right? Like I said, I'm going to take your preference. Say, I'm going to send you, ask you to send at least 10 stocks to start with, right? That, okay, can you help me construct a portfolio with these 10 stocks? Then whatever I did for this, constructing this model portfolio, I will repeat for each one of you separately. And that will require work on my part, right? To do that.
So that will take how much time?
I don't know. I mean, maybe at least a few days. I mean, I'll have to obviously, work on improving the back end, right? The engine, so that that work becomes more efficient. But at least I see a month of work before I can roll it out, right, for all of you. But till that time, I'll be able to at least do that analysis and come back with the report to you, at least within a month. Right. So my goal is to launch this product, by even for anybody who has registered, you will get hands-on to it by end of November only, right? Around 20th. So basically 1 month from now. Because I'm also traveling for a week, by the way, from like 27th or 28th, I think. So my wife is doing an exhibition in Hyderabad, so I'm traveling with her. So I'll not be available from like 28 to like 5th of November, right? So there is about 5-7 days gone. Even given that, I'll be able to launch something, right? Maybe not in all its glory, but whatever you see now, plus something more. So that portfolio construction bit is the next piece of the puzzle, right? I have to work on that piece. That is a massive part of it.
When
So
the
to answer
Indian
your question, it will take at least a month. But if you see, as I said, first 10 will get personal attention, right, from me. So it means that, I will send you that, like how you got this Nifty chart, right? So these reports I can send you, right, for each of the 10 stocks. So visually also you will be able to get started, because anyways, this identifies at least 2 opportunities for you on a monthly basis, right? So this is one thing you will get. Plus, what I have to do is I have to construct the portfolio for you. And then see, once the portfolio is constructed, I can make it available for all, right? So I'll say, okay, this is portfolio A, B, C, and then, you can see, okay, what would happen if I traded A, B, C, all of that would be possible. I just have to build the infra for that, which is not in place, right? So that will take about a month, worst case, let's say by end of December, right? So, but not more than that. I mean, typically by end of November is what I would say. Given that I've done so much in 15 days, I think I'm pretty confident that I can do all of that in another 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good night.
Yeah.
I'm taking your leave. You had a very hectic day.
Yeah, sure. So if anybody has any questions, even I want to take leave from all of you, and thank you for patiently listening to me and attending this call. I hope you found it useful and also informative. So if any of you would like to get early access, like I said, I think 4-5 slots are already gone. But anyways, even if I have to exceed the 10, I will. But you have to at least book your slot within the next day or two, so that I can count on you, right? So then that will also already provide me more fuel, right, to go and complete what I started, right? Because I'll know that at least 10 people are banking on me, right? So if you found value in whatever I demonstrated, and you see the value that I see, then I would of course encourage you to come on board, and I'll make sure that you get the best experience out of this thing. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for now. Unless there are any questions you have, of course you can get back to me. But please try and make a decision. See, it's not like I'm asking you to pay 1 crore, right? So it's a small amount compared to the potential that it has. So you can make a judgment call. You have seen me all this time, most of you, right? So my work ethics and all that, right? So if you trust me, you come with me, and that's all I can say. Okay. Chalo, that's all I have for now, and wish you a good night. I mean, I'm also feeling a little tired having spoken for so long. Is there any other questions that I can answer right now? Or you can always reach out to me. Hello? All right, all right. So Vijay, I know you're already in. I think who else is? Sumit is also in, right? And there are a couple of more who are not attending today. I think one of them is not actually from this group. So it's a known acquaintance. So yeah. So yeah, so that's all, folks. So if you have any questions, doubts, clarifications, please reach out to me. But please make your decisions fast, because once these 10 slots, whatever, maybe I can extend it by a couple. That's all. But at least I wanted to make sure that you get the first hand before anybody else does. So I thought that it's important that I unveil this, in this group first. That is why I held on to, doing it in the open group. I may do it next week or over the weekend. I don't know. I haven't decided. But so if you can make a decision by this weekend, today is Friday, by this Sunday, that's great. If not, nothing will change. And we will continue as we do. Okay? Take care, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.